Okay, guys, we are almost ready to go live on Facebook and get this party started. I don't know about you, but I'm super excited. Um, let's see. Okay, you guys can hear me okay? Hopefully. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Charlotte. I'm glad you found the link. I'm going to go ahead and get us live in the group, make sure everything connects well so we're right on time. Hopefully we are. I have so many good things for you tonight, you guys. I'm really excited. Okay, so we'll put July 5-day and we are ready to rock and roll. Hello, everybody. We are now live in the 5-day EKG Facebook group. I'm going to make sure that we are all set. You may notice that I am in a different location today than I have been the past few days. It's a little different. I'm actually in Oregon, believe it or not. And I'm in a hotel that I'm not entirely sure isn't haunted. It's very creepy looking, although it's like a really nice Marriott hotel. It's by a river and I'm pretty sure it's haunted. So if you guys see ghosts behind me, just let me know so I can get out of the way. Anyway, welcome in. We are just about ready to get started. I'm going to make sure that I can share my screen. And I think we are good to go. So we are on day 3 officially today. So before we kick it off, I just wanted to say you can join us on Zoom if you want to be unmuted and ask questions. You can join that way, or you can join on the Facebook group as well. Now, this whole week has been dedicated to high-risk findings and also about learning and refreshing the normal EKG. So this far, we've covered a lot of ground. And I wanted to know if you have any questions so far. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions, those that are on Zoom. Dorothy or Charlotte, feel free to ask, or Magda, feel free to ask any questions if you have them. If not, no worries. If you're on with me live on Facebook, put hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. So tonight we're a little bit early. And a lot of the East Coast folks were like really excited because doing it early allows them to get to bed early. And one of my East Coast folks said, hey, I can't stay awake that long anymore. So this is good for anybody on the East Coast. Now, remember, tonight we're doing our giveaway for our EKG class that starts next week. And I'm going to tell you about that. We're going to give it away at the very end. And this session is not going to be very long. We're going to just get down to it, nitty gritty, and show you what the important finding is. Okay, so again, the topic tonight is a high-risk EKG finding that we cannot afford to miss. This is especially true for tonight and tomorrow night in our young patients, basically. So people that are like teenagers to adults, we don't want to miss this finding. So in case you're keeping up with the workbook, we have the answers for you here. So yesterday's case, and I hope you were able to watch yesterday, was about a patient with palpitations. And the key to her case is that she had palpitations that came and went very briefly. And everybody thought it was anxiety, but it wasn't. It was actually something else. It was an arrhythmia underlying that was creating her anxiety. And what was creating the arrhythmia, most likely an SVT, was her underlying Wolff-Parkinson's white. And you can see here on the workbook, I put the pointed to the delta wave, and I wrote the 3 things that we want to use to help us remember WPW, okay, Wolff-Parkinson's white. So we covered that last night. And tonight's case is also somebody young with palpitations. So tonight's case, now that we are right at 4:30, I can go ahead and kick it off. Hey, officially welcome in. So tonight's case is a young 17, 18-ish year old male. And his name is Kevin. Now, again, this isn't any real patient's face, but this was a real case. And also, side note, this is not a real clinic. You can tell because there's actually paper charts. Yes, I know. So anyway, going back to Kevin, let's talk about him. And are there anything in his history that we need to worry about? So Kevin got brought into urgent care by his mom. And she said that he was experiencing some palpitations and she just wants to be safe. So if you're live with me here, type in the chat, have you ever had a young person that the mom brought in that they wanted you to check out? And they said, I just want to be safe. Has that ever happened to you? But hashtag yes, if that has ever happened to you. I would put hashtag yes, because that happens all the time, right? And so when you first look at Kevin, you're doing your doorway diagnosis, right? And you're looking at him to decide if he's big sick or little sick. But Kevin is, yeah, Kendall, all the time. I know the struggle is real, Kendall. So looking at Kevin, he has a positive text sign, right? That's what I call it anyway. Yes, hashtag yes, Charlotte. I know. It's the struggle is real, right? Of these patients finding us and there's something really wrong and we don't have enough stuff, especially if we're at family or urgent care, to really say it's nothing. So mom says he's he's normally healthy, but she was kind of concerned because he asked her to pick him up from school, which was very abnormal. So looking at him, he's got a positive text sign. Don't ever document that. That would be bad. It's not actually a real thing. But that's actually kind of how I communicate with somebody to tell my coworker or my collaborating doc that they're not sick, right? A positive text sign. So if someone's like, yeah, I've got 10 out of 10 pain. And then they're like, hang on. And they eat their sandwich or they're texting. You're like, I don't really think you're a 10 out of 10, right? So going back, let's do some vitals on Kevin. And his vitals look fantastic. His heart rate, not too bad. Respiration's not bad. He's afebrile and his blood pressure's great. So he's got no history. And here's his mom still looking worried. But let's find out a little bit more about what was surrounding his complaint and what, if anything, should we worry about. So here's his chief, complaint and fleshing out the whole picture with him. So he had racing heart for 30 seconds or a little before lunch time, right? So, okay, racing heart, that's not very abnormal, but it was enough to worry him. And at the time, he felt like he was going to die. So he called his mom. Now, let's stop there, because if any of you have teenage boys, then you know what it takes for a teenage boy to acknowledge you're even there, right? But also to call you to school and pick them up and take them to the doctor or PA or NP or wherever you're going to go. So that's huge right there. So for me, that's a red flag. And I'm asking about like, hey, was anybody bullying you? Are you trying to get out of a test? Secretly, I'm asking that to the patient, right? But no. I really did feel this way. But I feel fine now. And I also had 3 episodes yesterday. He didn't tell mom that. And she looks at him and glares at him. So, of course, you ask the money question. The money question in these young teens is always this. Did someone die young, cardiac death in your family that was unexpected? Meaning it was atraumatic. They didn't get hit by a truck. They just died. That's something we should be concerned about. And he did have an uncle die of something when he was 36. So that's very, very, very worrisome. For no matter what we find on his EKG, we're still worried. Okay, so mom says she just wants to be safe. Can you just do something here? Already you're like, Mom, I'm a little bit worried about him. Yeah, of course, we'll do an EKG, Mom, but I think, you should probably go to the emergency room. So Remy is here with us, and Remy says, can I show them the EKG? Of course you can, Remy. If any of you missed the little video we showed yesterday of Remy learning how to read EKGs, you should definitely catch that in yesterday's session. Okay, so here's the EKG on Kevin. And let me ask you, what do you think? What do you think about this EKG? Is there anything on here that worries you? And I'm just going to point out to you that there's no STEMI, right? Because we're always looking for STEMI or no STEMI. There's not any delta wave. We learned about those last night. There's no delta wave. But is there anything on here that makes you concerned? Is there anything on here that makes you particularly worried? In fact, do you want to do an exam? Do you want to send him to the ER? Do you want to refer him to cardiology to get worked up because of his history and palpitations? Do you want him to have labs? What would you have happen to this young guy who complains of palpitations? So type in the chat if you know the answer. If you don't, that's okay. I'm going to show you. But if you want to guess, don't be shy. As you know, there's no wrong answers here, right? But in case you're too shy, that's okay. I'm going to show you that there is a place on the EKG Oh, Sanite. Yes. Hi, Sanite. Sanite's in our 30-day EKG challenge. That's why Sanite knows that, yes, there is a problem. The problem lies in V1 and V2 specifically. And Kendall, yeah, there probably is a little LVH, a little bit of left ventricular hypertrophy. And yes, actually, Tracy on Zoom got the answer. Absolutely right. Oh my goodness. Okay, so thank you guys for playing and guessing. Hi, Candace. I can see that you just logged on. But yeah, so let's talk about this. Let's talk a little bit more. So if you're on Zoom, you've seen the answer. If you're on Facebook, you haven't seen it yet. But I'm just going to show you something that should make you worry, okay, before we tell you the answer. If you ever have somebody, oops, sorry, let me do a, if you ever have somebody where it says incomplete or complete right bundle, right, then you should, and they're having syncope or near syncope or palpitations or anything that's high risk, what you want to do is you want to go down and look really hard at V1 and V2 for ski slopes, okay? So ski slope, ST elevation. If you see that, which we see here, that is pathognomonic for a finding that the machine will never catch, but it is life-threatening. And the diagnosis that this represents is not STEMI, because remember, for STEMI, you have to have 2 leads up and 2 leads down. We don't have any reciprocal depression. But this was, and Tracy, you got it. Strong work. This was a Brugada's. Now, in case you've never heard that term, it means there's a sodium channelopathy that leads to these weird formations in V1 and V2 that are ski slope-like, and that leads to sudden death. And the problem with that is that you need a defibrillator so that you don't die, right? And so we have to, first of all, identify it, because the machine isn't going to identify it for us. And then we actually need to get them to a cardiologist so they can do a workup. Oh my gosh, Lori, hello, welcome in. Hi, Lori, she's on Zoom. She says, is it possibly HCM? Lori, I love so much that you said that. We're actually going to be talking about that, but not tonight, because, but it is on the differential. It is so on the differential for a young person. Those are the 2 big bad wolves that cause palpitations, syncope, or difficulty breathing. Those are the things, HCM, hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, and Brugada's, that we think about in our young patients that are having especially syncope, okay? So this is at Brugada's. There's ski slope ST elevation in V1 and V2. There's also, in case you noticed, a little first degree block. The PR is over 200. But in young patients, that doesn't really cause great concern, a first degree block, right? But the Brugada's definitely does. But what's the follow-up for him? Because here he is, he's at your urgent care. What are you guys going to do with him? That's the big question, because he's a hot potato patient. What are you going to do for him? Okay, so ski slope ST elevation in V1 and V2 with the little skiers going down the ramp. What do we do for him? And here's another example while you're marinating on it, because I know you guys have some thoughts. Okay, this is again Brugada's. You can see ski slopes in V1 and V2, right? And this is not a STEMI, but it often will be labeled as a STEMI. So it's a STEMI mimic, but it's not, okay? Because it's only in V1 and V2. And it looks like a right bundle, but the angle is actually wider. And that's the way you tell the difference, okay? So again, you're looking hard at V1 and V2, and I'm gonna show you the difference. Now, just to refresh your memory, you actually have a copy, I think, of this EKG in your workbook. So if you still need a workbook, let us know. We can get it to you, not a problem. But definitely reach out if you need it, because what you want to do is you want to print it out and you want to go ahead and practice finding these findings on the piece of paper that we provided you in the workbook, because that way you'll actually get the hang of it, unless you're a real visual learner, and then this is good. But nobody's chimed in yet on Facebook or Zoom what you guys want to do with this child who's presented to urgent care. So this is one of those situations where you want to first make sure that you're not just dealing with a right bundle branch block. So a right bundle branch block looks a lot like a Brugada. So what you do is you come over here and you look at the angle. So this angle, that's probably not the best color, is it? This angle is very wide compared to this angle, okay? And this almost looks like a sailboat, whereas this just looks like a normal, regular right bundle, okay? So I'm gonna show you the difference, and that's what you always remember, is that you can ski down this one. You'd much rather ski down the Brugada than the right bundle because you'd crash at the bottom, right? You'd go clunk, and that wouldn't be as fun. So it's really a matter of separating the width. The width is actually wider in a Brugadas, okay? So what we wanna do so we never miss this again, and then I'll tell you what we should do with the patient, is this is the 3-prong method. And this is, if you have your workbook, what I would want you to write down so that you don't forget. First of all, you're gonna look for right bundle branch block, okay? Right bundle branch block plus ST elevation. That's number 1. Number 2 is look hard at V1 through V3, looking at that ski slope, right, to see if you have it, and then asking about a family history of sudden cardiac death. And again, if it's in a young family member with no trauma, put that high on your radar. So if you have these 3 things, it's Brugadas until proven otherwise. With Kevin, if he's in urgent care, to be honest, with the palpitations and the suspected Brugada, I would send him to the emergency room because we're not going to get him in to see cardiology anytime soon. And like today is soon, right? We want him to get in today, but that's not going to happen. So I would just send that patient to the emergency room if they were symptomatic and coming to you with that EKG. Because maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it sure is suspicious. And if you're suspicious, you want to send, okay? Because at the end of the day, someone said to me, well, what if you're wrong? Okay, well, what if you're wrong the other way? And you're like, oh, this is a zebra. It's not really Brugada. I'm not going to send them. And then they go have a cardiac arrest. How awful would you feel? So if you can ask somebody that you trust, right, do you think this is Brugada? Like your collaborating doc, that's the way to do it. Always, right? But if you don't, and you're not sure, and you're out on your own, if you're suspicious, just send them, okay? Because the case outcome on Kevin, he actually did have Brugadas, and he had an ICD placed, and he will need battery changes and close cardiology follow-up, and his prognosis is unfortunately fair. And the reason why is because, unfortunately, his condition can't be cured. We can only manage it. And we manage it by making sure he doesn't go into cardiac arrest by putting in a defibrillator. So that was the case outcome for him. But luckily, we didn't just discharge him. We actually found it. So Brugadas, ski slope ST elevation in V1 and V2 with no reciprocal changes. So now we are to the point of our scholarship giveaway. I told you tonight would be fast, short, sweet, to the point. That's how we roll. We want you to get in and get out and get the information and go on your way, right? But speaking of information, we are going to give away a scholarship tonight. I flew to Oregon and I brought my trusty bowl with all the papers so I could write your names down if you want to enter for our scholarship. But let me tell you about what you're entering to win, and then we'll go ahead and do the drawing. So we have a class called the 30-Day 30 EKG Challenge. A lot of you that are on with us tonight are actually in our group, okay? So what are we going to do? And what will you win if you win a spot? So we're going to do on Monday the 1st, a welcome call and a little bit of EKG terminology. Night 3, okay, which is actually on the 3rd, is going to be basic arrhythmias, okay? And these are just the EKG stuff. We have extra stuff like sleep apnea consultants. We have David, who's our EKG master who does study hall. We have a Whitney, our lipid specialist, coming in talking about lipids. We have all sorts of bonus stuff, but I'm just going to share with you the EKG stuff to keep it easy. You get access to all of this, right? And actually all 2 years of the recordings of all the lectures we've done in this group, you get access to all of it as our winner, okay? So we're going to do, just within the first 2 weeks, we're going to do the welcome call, the basic EKG arrhythmias, and the 12 lead basics. And then we're going to do all these other classes in between. We're going to have Michelle do basic 12 leads, and she's amazing. Yeah, Anne, it is amazing. She's going to talk about the coronary, so you really understand those. We're going to have more 12 lead practice. We're going to have a heart failure lecture with one of our heart failure PAs. We're going to do MIs on the 29th, and this class on the 20th here, August 20th, this is the one where I send you out workbooks in the mail, and we go over them together. I send you crayons and workbooks, and we go over them together in this class on the 20th. And just in case you can't make it, that's okay, it's recorded. So you get access to all of this. All the times are Pacific time, okay? And then you get access to these study halls here. If you have questions, David is our master. He will answer your questions, your EKG specific questions, and he will take your EKGs if you submit them. and break them down in his study halls. We just had a study hall yesterday with him, and a couple paramedics had sent in some EKGs, and they were like, what do you think? So he broke them down, and he gets really, really, really deep into them. So if you want that level of support, you want to enter this contest. Okay, you want to enter. You're going to get to be in both of our Facebook groups. We have something called the 30-day EKG challenge and the Launchpad. You get to be in both. The Launchpad has all the basic stuff, like how do you read the paper? You know, what's the P wave and all that stuff. And then the July 30-day challenge has all our extra classes that are like a little bit more advanced. You get access to all of it as our winner. And one of these kits will be mailed out to you, and the workbooks will be in that along with your crayons. Okay. You also get 12 hours of CE, and basically there's just tons and tons of classes that are recorded. I can't even go over all of them. There's so many, but basically this is a value you would win tonight of about $999. You get stress testing classes, cardio clinic pearls, behind the scenes of the cath lab, all sorts of stuff, right, in this group. And you also get access to these bonus instructors who have given lectures on stress test, cath labs, just to name a few. And of course, we also have our lipid queen and our sleep apnea queen. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our cardio NP, Megan, who also does lectures on heart failure, chest pain workups, etc. So if you want to win, you're going to get access to all of this. Okay. And then this is our lipid queen, Whitney, and our sleep apnea NP. So we actually have a lot of NPs that help us in our group with our specialties, and we just absolutely love it. Yes, yes, yes. The cath lab behind the scenes was cool. It was very cool. Good lecture. And here's all the coaches you'll have access to. We've got Carissa, our sleep NP. We have Sean, our medic. We have David, our awesome EMS he's our EKG expert. We have Coach Michelle, who you're going to get to hang out with tomorrow night a little bit for a game. And she's been posting games all week for you guys already. And then the lipid queen, and of course, Megan. So if you want to be entered to win that spot in our scholarship, we give one away every 5-day EKG challenge. And so if you want to win, what you need to put in is hashtag 30-day. Okay, so if you're on Zoom or FB Live, if you want to win this scholarship, as soon as I'm going to go ahead and start writing okay, Tracy, I got your name down. I'm going to start writing your names down real quick. It is great, Linda. And if you don't win, you can still join us. We'll basically give you a link. Okay, so we've got Tracy, we've got Riza. Nice. Okay, so it looks like, does anybody have any questions before? Because I'm seeing a lot of chat, but I don't want to miss a question. Okay, so Lori. Okay, got your names. We got Candace. Okay, guys, so give me like 2 minutes to write your names down, and I'll pop back on and announce the winner, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, finally, we are ready to do the giveaway. Yay! I'm a fast writer. Okay, so I have my bowl. I have your names, and we're about to do the winner of the 30-day EKG scholarship. So congratulations to everybody in advance for being here and getting the knowledge tonight, but also for showing up to try and win the scholarship. Okay, so our winner of the scholarship is Mas. I think, am I saying that right? Yeah, Mas. You are the winner of our 30-day scholarship. So congratulations, Anne. Make sure to private message me your in Facebook Messenger so I can get you the link. Yeah, congratulations. Yes, thank you everybody for trying to win. It's Victoria's in our 30-day 30 EKG. She's hopping on. Yes, and so message me in Messenger. Just send me a private message and I'll get you the link to the groups. And I'll need to get your address so I can send you out your workbooks. And if you didn't win the scholarship, that's still time to join us. I'll put the link as soon as I hop off if you want to join us, because we will not be giving away any more scholarships for this round. Unfortunately, we only give away one each 5-day, but you can still join us for all that goodness, and I'll throw the link in. The rates are student rate with no CE to join us for 6 months is $127, and for 12 hours of CE, it goes all the way up to $249. So it depends on what job class you are, but if you just want to hop in and get the knowledge and you don't need the CE, I'll throw the link in for you guys, and we'll see you on the inside. We start on Monday, but don't worry, we still have 2 more nights. We're coming back tomorrow night and Friday night to do 2 more cases in our 5-day. And the great news about the 5-day is if you like the content in the 5-day, you're going to love the 30-day, because we basically do deep dives on all this stuff, and we do it slower, and we really work with you to make you comfortable. So thank you guys all for joining, and congratulations to our winner, Anne. And I will see you all tomorrow at 5:30 PST and Friday night, 5:30 PST. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.